Sin City. Saturday night. Fight night. Any given weekend, this place is the entertainment capital of the world. When combat sports shines brightest on the Las Vegas Strip. Boxing and mixed martial arts need some new voices. And Franchise Sports Media got them for you. Join Kalani and Griff and Kemp each week as they bring you news and hot takes from inside the octagon and the ring. Get your popcorn ready. It's showtime. FSM's main event starts right now.
What's going on, fight fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. I'm Kalani Lure.
I'm Griff and Kemp.
Griff, we saw the end of a historic and legendary career, but we also saw the continuation of another legendary, historic career. Max Holloway defeats Korean Zombie. I'll be honest, Griff, I don't even know his real name. He's the Korean Zombie to me. Has been and will always be the Korean Zombie. But we did see in Singapore, Max Holloway put him away.
Yep.
Puts the gloves down, says farewell. Your thoughts on the match, and then we'll dive into the Korean Zombie's career.
For a random Saturday fight night, it was really good, especially in the main event. I mean, the whole spectacle of Zombie and I think it was known going in, it was going to be his last fight, and the whole crowd's chanting that song by the Cranberry Zombies. Ooh, it was gorgeous.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and then the fight itself was fantastic. I mean, you think of all the killers that Max Holloway has ran through, and the Korean Zombie being at this stage of his career in his final fight, he gets to the third round with Max. I mean, not a lot of fighters can say that who are in their prime currently. So the fact that the Korean Zombie went out that way, even though it was a loss, a vicious knockout loss, he still, I think, had his moment that night. The lights were shining on Max, but they were really shining on the Korean Zombie, which, by the way, I believe his name is pronounced Chen Young-sung. I might be completely wrong on that, but, just trying to give the man credit by his actual birth name.
Let me help you out.
Yeah.
It's the Korean Zombie.
It's TKZ, the Korean Zombie.
It's the Korean Zombie.
I loved it overall, though. Max Holloway he never left his prime. The man is still at the top of his game. We'll get more into that a little bit later, but overall, great night.
No, it was a good night. It was a lot of fun to see the crowd, to see the folk here coming out for his last hurrah, his last walk to the octagon. It was phenomenal to see, and no better way to end your career for the Korean Zombie than this. Granted, it would have been nice if he would have won, but he went out on his shield. He went out and said, hey, if I'm going out swinging. It worked for me really good throughout my career. Yeah. I'm going to see if I got it one more time in it. And it was one of those moments where even Max said, look, man, this is a legend right here. This isn't a matter of, I don't like him, we're going to settle this beef inside the cage, me versus you. No, this is two awesome fighters with Hall of Fame level careers who said, hey, you know what? It'll be my honor to do it with you. And he did. And the Korean Zombie, what a tremendous career. Very quickly, going back, 17-8 on his career, 6 wins by knockout, 8 by submission. He was knocked out, never got submitted, but he was one of the most aggressive fighters we've seen at the featherweight division. Always coming forward, very unique with his style. And one of the things that was awesome about him, his durability, his conditioning, his heart, but also the way the way he would will himself. He would enforce his will on your opponents. To where even if you wanted to do a tactical battle, you wanted to move around, you wanted to wrestle, you didn't do that with him. Because he forced you into saying, no, we're going to the back of the alley here, and we're going to fight this old school way. What are some highlights throughout his career for you of the Korean Zombie? I'll point out some of my own, but what are some that stand out to you?
It's hard to pick one,
No, it don't have to be one. Just some things that stand out.
I think overall what stands out to me about the Korean Zombie, and why is he called the Zombie? What do zombies do? They don't die. And that means that man, throughout his career, he not only enforced his will, but he was willing to take the fighter he was going up against. He was willing to take their will. He said, you can hit me, you can come at me, you could be dangerous, anything. I'm going to take it. I'm still going to be standing here. I'm still going to do what I got to do. We saw that I think honestly, one of my favorite moments was when his fight with Volkanovski. Volk is even in the middle of that fight. I think it was like the third or fourth round. Volkanovski being as great as he is, he knows that he's winning this fight. He's overwhelmingly winning the fight against the Korean Zombie, and he's almost like taken back, and he's almost kind of like holding his punches back and saying like, "Yo, are you sure you want to keep? You sure?" In the middle of the round, and Korean Zombie just looks at him and says, "Let's go, keep going." Like, love the heart. You have to respect the man's heart. You have to respect him as a legend of the UFC. It's going to be sad to see him go, man.
Quick story time. Back in April of 2010, and leading to the event of the Korean Zombie, we go out, go to a Buffalo Wild Wings with some friends.
Beautiful
we go there to watch the fight. We want to see Jose Aldo fight the California Kid, Uriah Faber. This is the big one right here. Tore Faber's leg up. Damn near broke it with kicks. We're watching it. We're all excited. We're going to have a good time. The fight goes off. And we're thinking, okay, it's the main event. We're out here. As we're paying the bill, we see a fight between a gentleman by the name of Leonard Garcia and, what's his name?
TKZ, the Korean Zombie.
No, his real name. His birthday.
Chan Young Sung.
So we see that. And at the time, we were thinking, well, if they're coming on after the main event, they must not be good. This is going to be bad. Pay up. We're out of here. Get back to the house and realize we missed the fight of the decade. We missed Leonard Garcia, Korean Zombie at WEC 48. If you don't remember, Griff, that was an absolute battle, split decision. Those, literally what you just said, oh, you hit me 10 times. I'm gonna hit you 10 times. They went to war. And I missed it live. So I had to go back. I had to go back on YouTube, had DVDs, had to watch it again. Now, they met up again later in the UFC. The Korean Zombie won via twister. Got victories over Mark Hominick. Got victories over Dustin Poirier. He lost to Jose Aldo in respect. But the Korean Zombie, with his nation, with his country, you are required to do military service. In 2013, after losing to Jose Aldo, he got asked to come and do his service. He leaves at Jose Aldo as 13-4 throughout his career. Just had a title fight, so he's amongst the top in the division. Goes away, he misses 4 years. Now, don't get me wrong. He comes back in 2017 against Dennis Bermudez, gets a KO victory. Korean Zombie's back. Never looked the same. He's 13-4, finished career 17-8. He goes 4-4 in his next 8 bouts. And at times, he had flashes. The consistency wasn't there. It was one of those where if he could give you 5 rounds of all-out war, maybe I'll give you 3.5. And there was times, like you said, against Volkanovski, where certain fights, he just looked like he was a bit overwhelmed. Not so much from a skill set, but like he just couldn't pull the trigger anymore. I just saw the movie, so it's fresh in my mind. I know you ain't seen it, which is a travesty. The movie Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman. Come on, baby. The Western. Okay. So just very, very quickly. Eastwood and Freeman are friends. They are hired guns to go kill somebody. A bad person, by the way. Morgan Freeman is a sharpshooter.
Right.
When they're about to pawn on these guys and Morgan's there with the long rifle, he can't pull the trigger. Nothing was happening. No bullets was coming at them. And they were, but not at this time. It's like, I can't do it, Will. Just not in me no more. Clint Eastwood still had it in him. Morgan could have. And that's what I felt like at times watching the Zombie once he came back from his service. Just didn't have it in him no more. Bits were there, but it wasn't there. And it's unfortunate that, look, I'm retired now. Why don't I go ahead and do my service now? But it is what it is. But the Korean Zombie, look, even though he lost, when he got knocked out by Yair Rodriguez, and you talked about that, they stand up the last 10 seconds, and they look at each other, put their hands up. They look at each other, and they put their hands up. Like when Max Holloway looked at Lamas, and he pointed to the ground and said, let's go. When they look at each other, and they stand up, and then what do? They boom, 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 boom. Yair goes down, throws the elbow, hits Zombie as the buzzer sounds. He's going to the mat. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Craziest knockouts ever.
One of the craziest. I have nothing but absolute respect, admiration, and love for the Korean Zombie. Win, lose, or draw, you were never cheated out of a fight. You know if he was on the card, whether it was Fight Night or a pay-per-view, you was getting your money's worth. Korean Zombie, thank you.
Thank you.
We love you, brother.
Yes,
we love you, man. And he seems like an overall generally good dude.
Absolutely.
He's a really good dude.
He's a nation hero out over there.
Well, not just a nation hero, but he seems like widely loved and respected. Seems like whenever you do see him with fans, he loves it. He tries to engage. That's what I mean. Some guys, look, I get it. I'm not asking you to be the perfect role model. Some guys just seem like, I'll root for you, but I ain't trying to have a beer with you because you seem like a jackass. Korean Zombie seems like, brother, I would love to sit down and have a drink with you and watch a movie, share stories, talk trash, have some barbecue with you, and we just shoot the shit. He's one of those guys I would love to do it with.
Absolutely. I mean, Hall of Famer? Hall of Famer real quick?
Absolutely.
You think he gets in?
I believe so. I believe so because, again, I think while he never achieved a UFC title, I think he was one of those mainstay guys like Donald Cerrone. Always near the top of the card, always one of the biggest fan favorites, as you said, not just in his last bout, but how many fights can we say with the Korean Zombie where he didn't get one of the loudest pops ever? I mean, think about it. Think about it. We know him as a Korean Zombie.
Right.
That's like Magic Johnson. You know, Magic's not his first name.
No,
it's Irving.
it's Irving.
But people don't call him Magic. They're like, yeah, no, that's Magic Johnson. That's what I know. Some people, if you say, oh, did you meet Irving yet? Who the hell is that? I don't know. If you say, oh, did you meet, what's his name? Chen
Young Sung. I
you
hope
said
I'm saying that right.
I promise you, Griff. If you told me that's who it was, I wouldn't even know who it is. But if you said that was that was TKZ, so
crazy. His name is just. You gotta be a special person in a sport to get a nickname like that. But real quick, you know, we love to pay our respects to these guys, especially these iconic fighters when their career ends. But I feel like we should shift the focus to the man who was in that octagon with the Korean Zombie, the man who had the privilege, the honor of sending the Korean Zombie off into a happy retirement. Okay. And that is the blessed one. After this fight,
local brother, Max Holloway. We got to talk about him. We got to. I'm interested to hear your thoughts about what this fight really, you know, does it do anything for Max in his path going forward? Is there anything we can take from after watching this fight of saying whether Max is declined and getting better? He's anything. What are your thoughts on Max? Well, I don't know how you can see it's a decline in the performance he put out there. Outside of fighting one Alexander Volkanovski, the champion at 145, Max has shown he's superior to every single fighter at 145. We've said it on this show, and I'll reiterate it again. I really believe that unless Aljamain Sterling, Cejudo, Chico Vera, unless somebody from 135, one of the big names, wants to move up and challenge Bless to get to Volk, there's no reason to run a fourth match between these three. You fought 3 times. 2 of them were close decision victories that went the other way. Max started off good in both of those fights, but faded towards the end with leg kicks and the work of Alexander, who wins. The third fight, how Korean Zombie looked here, that's how Max looked there without the knockout. He got beaten, battered, and bruised. And I hate to say this about my 808 Polynesian brother, but facts are facts. He got whooped up against Volkanovski to the point where you almost felt like, is it time for Max to retire? Like when you saw that, it's like, buddy, you might want to retire after this. It was a one-sided beatdown. Yeah. He had one eye, one arm, and one leg in that fight. Yeah. One butt cheek after the whooping. So for me, either fight one of the big sharks at 135 or Maxie. You're going to have to go ahead and eat some more of them musubis, eat some more of them zip packs from Zippies, and move on up to 155, baby.
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, okay? This is Max Blessed Holloway. And as we've seen, and it's not... I didn't mean to seem like I was going to say like this fight, there was any reason we could think he was declining. But when, you know, you're fighting a guy like the Korean Zombie, it's not really a fight where you win and people are like, oh, that's a barn burner right there. He's got to get a title shot. No, it was just a nice, you know, very, you know, sentimental send off. But for Max, before this fight, since 2021, this man has beaten the likes of Calvin Kattar, Arnold Allen, Yair Rodriguez. The man is just absolutely plucking through all these contenders and keeping them from getting straight into a title shot with Volkanovski. And Max has come out and said, I want to be, the goal here is to be undisputed. That nobody can dispute whether I am the great or the greatest, or if I belong at the top. Nobody's questioning if you belong at the top. Nobody is questioning your skills, your ability, how great of a fighter you are. We're just living in reality. And the reality is, unless Ilya Topuria comes out in here and strips the belt from Volkanovski, Max Holloway could go the rest of his career, if he stays at featherweight, never sniffing a title again, never rocking gold again. And that's just not right, especially with how we've seen him fight since his last loss to Volkanovski. The man has been on a tear. The man is absolutely, he needs to be fighting for gold. He needs to have the opportunity to be on the path towards a championship belt. And I really think the The move to lightweight is the only right move.
But that's what I'm saying is that he's got to move up. Unless he takes on something, because there's no other challenge. Unless he fought Itapora, there's no other challenge for him at 145. So he needs to take on one of the big names at 35 who wants to move up and say, okay, I'll fight you. Let's say Sterling and O'Malley rematch. And let's say O'Malley wins. Right? So Sterling comes up. That's 2 losses in a row. He's not going to get a shot at Volkanovski right away. So you fight Max Holloway. Okay, cool. But outside of that, Max had to move up to 155. Remember, he was willing to do 155 against Khabib Nurmagomedov on 6 days notice?
Yeah.
And then was told not to. He fought Dustin Poirier at 155. And again, he got mollywopped in that one. But that was more so Dustin just being bigger than him and Max knowing this was the one-off. Almost like BJ Penn going up to welterweight. He kind of figured like, okay, I'll see how I do up here. If I win, cool. If I don't, whatever. Even though BJ, that dude, I believe he fought a heavyweight at one point in his career. 155. 145 is what he fought at the last. And he fought at heavyweight. I know he definitely fought at middleweight. But Max needs to move to 155. He needs to move it to lightweight. That's why I say take the time off so you can put on a proper weight, proper muscle, like we've seen with George St. Pierre when he moved up to 185, like we've seen from Israel Adesanya when he moved up to 205, like we've seen John Jones do, even though he has some other issues on why it was delayed, when he moved up to heavyweight, so that when Max does cut down to 155, he's not getting overwhelmed by the size and strength of these guys there. So I would definitely love to see him at 155. There are some great matchups up there.
Many options
there are some killers up there for him to take on. And there's a rematch against a certain Brazilian by the name of Charles Oliveira that they can go ahead and get. So again, it's a lot of opportunity there. If Max stays at featherweight, to your point that you said, it's on him that he never gets another title shot. Unless someone else dethrones Volkanovski or Volkanovski moves up to 155, that is on Max because he knows after 3 losses, third being most convincing, you are not going to get another shot here. It's different when we did Moreno and Figueroa 17 times because 16 of them were back and forth.
Yeah, first one was the tie, then they both split.
So that's totally different. And the fights were competitive. This last one wasn't.
It wasn't.
It doesn't. He erased the memories of the first 2 almost. So if I'm in Max's ear at all, if I could talk to him, brother, I need you to move up to 155. Go ahead, eat the rice. No worry, no good. We good. Go up, move up, and then get your groove on there at 155. I'd love to see what he can do at lightweight. Potentially, depending on how he puts on the weight, he could get champ status.
I wish everything just lined up better. I wish that Aljamain Sterling, if he wasn't so determined to get the rematch with O'Malley, I would absolutely back the motion of Max staying at featherweight and then fighting Aljamain, and because it works for both men. Aljamain, that would automatically give you a title shot against Volkanovski if you beat Max Holloway. But for Max, it's just again, if he's so determined, which, if he's so determined to stay and just beat on all the contenders, beat everybody and say, yeah, that's great, but that's great, you want to be a champion, but I'm still here, I'm still blessed. I wish we could get out. I would say fight Aljamain. That's probably going to be I would take Max in that. Then move up to lightweight and then proceed as follows. And then maybe even we get to see that fight we never got to see with Max Blessed Holloway fighting a Dagestani champion at lightweight. That would be amazing.
Well, hopefully this Dagestani champion doesn't run off to the hills and retire and claim that he doesn't want to fight anymore because he's scared.
Yeah.
Well, let's just be honest. That Dagestani did fight somebody from Ireland and kind of prove that I'm better than you in every circumstance.
What did he say? He done shite in the game.
Yeah.
He pissed off on everything he's done in this game.
Yeah, and he made the tap to a neck crank. A neck crank. Not even a proper rear naked choke. A neck crank. All those Iranians you brought in, all those European wrestlers you brought in, they did nothing for you. You tapped out, laddie. You tapped out to a freaking neck crank. It ain't even a real one. It's like when your daughter chokes you and you get in there and you say, oh, laddie, you got me. That's what he did. Your boy's done. He's a drunken drughead.
I swear. If you're watching a pay-per-view card, the last thing you want to see is your favorite fighter go against a chin strap mofo from Dagestan, all right? It'll break your heart. Absolutely shatter you as a person. Oh my gosh. I love the country of Dagestan though. They are good people. Nothing personal. I hate that chin strap mofo.
But hey, that's another topic. Aljamain definitely wants his rematch with O'Malley, which respect, it's like, hey man, I lost. Let me get a chance to get my title back. I was a long-standing champion, defending 3 times, but we'll see what they decide to do. But Griff,
Yep.
talking about seeing what they decide to do. Did you hear some of the rumors of what the UFC might be trying to do?
I've heard pitter-patters here and there.
A little bit. Okay, well, let me share with the folks out there, if you guys don't know. UFC 300.
It's soon. Sooner than you think.
It's coming up. It's fast on the horizon. UFC 294. That's on the end of the year. There's some rumors out there that there might be a certain Irish fella returning to go ahead and fight on 294.
Yep.
And there's also some former champions who are rumored to come back for UFC 300. Let's stop beating around the bush. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, UFC 294. Seems like it might happen. Very weird with the timing. I guess he's going to get a USADA exemption and get all the extra stuff out of him.
Hey, if John Jones can use it, so can Conor.
But John Jones is going out there and showing time and time again. Oh, I'm sorry. How many times has John Jones lost? How many times has he lost?
Well, against a fighter or
Yeah,
USADA?
ever lost?
Against USADA?
Inside the cage, how many times has he lost?
Zip.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I want to know. But if that happens, there's also rumors of UFC 300. Now, the UFC, Dana White was talking about, hey, if Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk do want to fight, they'll promote it. They'll put it on UFC 300. Elon Musk and Zuckerberg said, no, buddy, we got our own platforms. We don't need you for that, which is unfortunate, but
they
okay.
kicked Dana out of there.
But for 300,
Crazy.
they're talking about a former Olympic bronze medalist, women's champion, one of the best pound-for-pound women fighters of all time. She's on the Mount Rushmore. Help rein in women's fighting in the UFC.
She did.
Ronda Rousey could be returning. Now, you would assume if she returned, does she rematch Holly Holm to get her first loss back? Does she take on an upstart contender in Juliana Pena? Does she maybe go against her nemesis, her rival, Misha Cupcake Tate? She responds one more go around? Maybe.
Oh, he's up again.
That is because there's another rumor for a former champion that might be coming. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the former NCAA heavyweight champion, the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the King of the Ring winner, the Royal Rumble winner, the Beast among men, the Conqueror, eat, sleep, repeat, the former UFC Heavyweight Champion of the world, Brock Lesnar.
Woo! Got me fired up. For that steroid bag to come back and get into the octagon. I said it.
How dare you make accurate accusations against Brock Lesnar? How dare that is perfectly sometimes supplemented dairy milk that he drinks.
That man
a little bit of cream extra, but come on, man. Look. Just hear me out. Perfect example why we need roids. What? Okay, quick question. Who won the last 10 Tour de France's? Name anybody who's ever won it. Nobody knows. But you know who won 7 of them? Lance Armstrong.
The roids won one of those.
It doesn't matter because when they tested the rest of the field, the next 20 guys did it. So in the words of the great Bill Burr, our roided up guy beat your roided up guy. Is the Tour de France going to give back all the money that he raised for them? Are they going to turn in their yachts, their mansions, their Porsches? Hell no.
Hell no.
So baseball. Oh, we got Barry Bonds. Should he be in the Hall of Fame or not? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you guys going to keep him out because you didn't like him in the media? No proof. He didn't admit to it. No actual proof that he did. So what's the holdup here? So, but are you going to return all the money you got from all the sponsors during his reign of 73? You still show the highlights of him doing all the home runs. For Brock Lesnar, and for any fighter, really. I've been on this train for a minute. We don't have to get into it right now.
And we will go into a lengthy debate if we get into this.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But I've always been in favor of performance-enhancing drugs for sports. Makes the Olympics better, makes fighting better, makes games better. But if Brock Lesnar was to come back, let's just say, because he is in his mid-40s, looking good, by the way, Mr. Lesnar. If he was, whoever he fights, and there's really only one guy for him to fight,
it really is.
Then you just say, give them both a USADA exemption. For what? What's the purpose? It's a one-off. It's a one-off. Hey, we're only going to do one particular fight. We don't have to get into the matchups just yet, Griff, but if he does come back, so what? So what? Okay, he used it. Guess what? I understand. Did Mark Hunt die? Did Mark Hunt suffer a serious injury? No. All the fights he's been in, you can't just say it's only because he fought a couple of guys who were on roids. Michael Bisping, okay, he had his eye incident. Does that not happen?
It happens.
Marvin Eastman took the flying knee from Vitor, got that cut on, between his eyes. Was that because Vitor was using some special supplements, or is that because it just happens? Guys who get their arms broke. Hey, hold on. Frank Mir broke Big Nog's arm, shoulder. Is that because Frank Mir was on something?
That.
Is that because he was on something? Legs get broke. Weidman broke his leg, and Silver broke his leg against Weidman. Is that because their opponents were on something? No, it's a fight business. It happens, Griff.
If you're gonna let these boys and girls do steroids and get into an octagon and go ham on each other, you're gonna be costing lives. We're gonna be seeing murders live on pay-per-view.
Name one.
I'm saying because of USADA, because the good people at USADA have been keeping these fighters safe. They say you are not going to become this roided out Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan fighter all of a sudden. We're not gonna let you do that, because then it's just gonna be this. It's gonna look like the Monstars from Space Jam, just beating and boom and boom, and then next thing you know, you're right, it hasn't happened yet. But a sport like MMA, you're gonna get people who there's gonna be that one head kick. If Gaethje and Poirier were on steroids, we don't know if Dustin Poirier's neck wouldn't have gotten broken from that kick. There's just too much uncertainty. It defies the purity of the sport. Purity. It's what can you as a person, no matter what the sport is, what can you as a person accomplish when you are playing this sport? All on your own God-given, physical given gifts.
There's literally
not a bottle, not roids, all right? No, pure, absolute gifts.
Yeah, that all sounds great for a 1991 after school special for the kids for a DARE program. There's no industry that is pure. Every single industry is using some type of advantage. And if you're not, what coach say? You ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. You know that, Griff, from playing football. You trying to tell me you never held somebody? You never got in a little closer, you could get a little nudge on the pool? You never did a little You never did that? That's an advantage, Griff. That's an illegal move. You never put your knee out there, your foot out there to try to trip a guy up a little bit if he was to get around you. Hey, man, you ain't get around me, Peter.
I will say I did get a sack once off of a trip. All right, that did happen.
Thank you. So guess what? It happens. Oh, somebody would die. Okay, all you have pre-USADA. All those UFC events, all those UFC fight cards, Pride in Japan. We've had fighters literally say, they says in the contract in bold letters, we will not test you for steroids. And how many of them died over there? How many of them died? How many heads were exploded? How many people had their limbs ripped off? Listen, I understand the argument, and I do respect it. There's no proof behind it. Just like in the world of professional wrestling, where all these wrestlers used drugs for a number of years. Those guys died wasn't because of steroids. Owen Hart didn't die because of steroids. He fought because of a malfunction from the ropes. The wrestler, I forget his name, but it's in a lower level Mexican league. He died because when his head hit the ropes, it broke his neck because the ropes was tied too tight. And they even explained it. Yeah, these ropes are tied way too tight. There's no give to it. So there are accidents that happen. There are stunt people in the world of Hollywood who die. Hollywood doesn't test for steroids. Did they die because of steroids, or did they die because they were doing something dangerous that they love and accidentally it happened? Boxers have died. We've seen football players get paralyzed. They've gone away. We've seen baseball players lose their sight because they got hit by a pitch. So you mean to tell me in the world of baseball, I can throw a fastball at your head at 100 miles per hour, totally legal? But oh my God, you took a supplement that's 10 times better than what I'm taking. You might kill me. Bullshit.
Give baseball all the steroids they want. I don't care about baseball, no disrespect to the sport, but I don't care if those boys are doing roids. I do them all you want. They're not hitting each other over the heads with the bats. They're not tackling each other. They are running into each other occasionally. It's not a very contact sport. You have contact sports like football and wrestling and MMA and boxing that absolutely can cause really god-awful damages.
Can they do the same thing without steroids?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but
guess what?
The risk is increased because of the steroids.
What's the proof? What is the proof? No, seriously. What is the proof?
Well,
what is the proof behind it?
When's the last time there was a free-for-all in football, in the NFL, where they said steroids are legal, go at it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not see almost every other week players who get popped for being? You know, the football has a good way of covering it up. You get a 4-week suspension, then an 8-week suspension, then a year suspension. You get 3 strikes, Griff. You think that's all because, your Gatorade was a little tart? What about Peyton Manning when he had those HGH bottles delivered to his house. No, that's in my wife's name. Oh,
Don't say that about the sheriff.
no, hold on. Oh, he's the sheriff, all right? The
sheriff,
Crooked
man.
County Sheriff. Crooked County Sheriff.
Crooked
You mean
County
to tell me that his wife got HGH and he just looked at him like, oh, hey, honey, I know I'm older and can't move, my ankles hurt, but you just keep the HGH over there. It's cool. Yeah.
Sure.
We'll go over here and do another commercial with my brother. Yeah. Okay.
Sheriff's a legend.
Oh, baloney. Don't give me that nonsense. Steroids are good. Look at all the Olympic games that we've seen. And guess what? Those guys were winning before. Carl Lewis and who's the guy from Canada? I forget. Johnson. Gave us one of the best rivalries we've ever seen. Steroids. Why not? And there's no proof to show that it's going to injure you. You could tear your ACL getting out the damn car.
I don't know. Call me a purist, all right? I just love keeping the idea of sport as just what can a single person accomplish, or a group of men or women. What can they accomplish with just what they have, their bodies, their physical attributes? And that's just how I see it.
It's very funny because when we watch these 30 for 30s, these Netflix untold documentaries, damn near all these athletes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later all talk about how they were using different stuff to get advantages. All talk about how they did certain things to bend the rules, get away with it, break the rules, use other stuff, you cheat, gamble, etc., etc. Oh, but that's perfectly fine because I love the purity of it. No! That is a Nickelodeon special you're talking about right now. This is real life right here. Money is on the line. Entertainment is on the line. All I'm saying is, I want to see everybody on it because I want to see the best. Enhanced by the best. Yes, it's great to watch Rocky IV and to see Ivan Drago get the needles. He's got all the high-tech technology, and Rocky's out there in the snow, in the mud, and with the wood logs. And he's out there training hard, and he overcomes it. But guess what? It was in the script that he would win. Because when it wasn't in the script, guess what happened? Rocky ended up in the damn ER and almost died.
Well,
steroids is better.
Nah.
Steroids are better. The only reason we don't like steroids is because it's always been shown in a negative aspect. Think about this. What about all the times you get steroids to fight an infection? All the times you get steroids to overcome an illness.
You're not
to
taking,
recover from an injury.
You're not taking cycles of trend to cure, the AIDS or whatever illness you have. You're taking cycles of trend. You're getting in the gym. You're pumping. You're able to go longer, lift heavier, go faster.
You're able to recover faster, which is what we want. I'm sorry, when I watch any sporting event, I want to see the best. Football season's coming up. I want to see the best players on my team, on your team, playing each other. I want to see week 3, your linebacker goes down, my quarterback goes out, your running back is down. So now when we play each other, half your good players are gone. So we really don't know, is the Bears better than the Raiders? Are the Packers better than the Lions? Are the Chiefs better than the Broncos? We don't know because half the team is injured. No, and I understand that's part of the game. But also what could be part of the game is put that bottle right there and, wait a minute. So it's okay to take a cortisone shot, which is routinely talked about for a game. Oh, take a cortisone shot. You won't feel your ribs, your back, your knees, your headaches, whatever, for the next 3-4 hours. That's perfectly fine. But not a steroid? Maybe you don't think.
We're going to get to the point where they're just putting robots out there on the field, where they're just putting, it's going to, all of a sudden, it's no longer sport. It's just pure entertainment of robots doing different things. That robot who shoots threes, it's going to be him that all the little kids, it's his jersey all the kids are going to be wearing.
Me and you won't even be alive when that happens. Granted, they're using robots for everything else. That took our damn... Let's not get into that, because then we're going to get into a whole nother topic. Hey, UFC 300 might see some returning champions. UFC 294 might see the return of Conor McGregor.
Hey.
So long to the Korean Zombie. Meg, what you gonna do, buddy? I don't know, but we got to figure this out. There's a whole bunch of good stuff going out there. And Griff, we didn't even talk about boxing. Put him up. We didn't even talk about that. But we will. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is
Griff and Kemp.
I'm Kalani Lua. Till next time, fight fans.
Peace.